Don't do it. Don't do it, man. I know what you're thinking. I know what you guys are thinking. Maybe not all of you, but some of you. And I'm here to tell you, do not do that. All right? Don't get comfortable. Don't be one of those people that think, I can go back to my everyday life. I can go back to not paying attention. It's fine. The GOP has my back. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance have my best interest at heart. I don't have to pay attention to what's going on in the world. Don't be like that, man. Don't be a sucker. Don't be one of these people who woke up in the past 2 weeks because of Charlie's death and the reaction to it and think because you watched a memorial service and, you know, you heard all these amazing people talk that they're going to have your best interest at heart and everything's going to be peaches and cream and you never have to worry about anything ever again and your life will be perfect and you're just going to win and you're not going to have to fight and you're not going to have to, you know, pay attention to what's going on in the world. Don't do that. Because that's game plan number one for these people. And I know I said a few videos ago that I wasn't going to criticize Republicans because I, figured we should all come together and unify, and I still believe in that. And that extends to individuals, that extends to people who are on the right who I may or may not disagree with. And as long as they don't do something stupid, something absolutely just idiotic, I'm not going to make fun of them. I won't make videos on them. I'm still going to make videos on people like Officer Tatum, but we'll get to that later. But that olive branch doesn't extend to the GOP. It doesn't extend to Donald Trump or J.D. Vance or all of these people in this cabinet because these people are a part of the problem. They're a part of the problem in the fact that they are actively doing things that are ruining your future and my future. And there's a lot of things going on, man. In the past few days, there's so much stuff that's going on. I literally just woke up and there was even more stuff that went on when I was asleep. It started and ended while I was sleeping. And I didn't sleep for that long. It was maybe 6 hours. So this is how crazy things are moving. This is how crazy things are evolving. And I'm here to tell you, right? We're going to talk about those things, but I'm here to tell you, please do not get comfortable. Please don't be one of these people. And a lot of them are going to be doing this because it is normal, all right? People don't want to pay attention. People don't want to actively go out of their way to read between the lines, see the smoke in the air because they don't want to look at the smoke in the air because when there's smoke, there's fire. Well, we all know now it's not just smoke. There is no just smoke. It is fire. It's in front of you. But people still, they don't want to acknowledge that. So they're going to go back to sleep. They're going to go back to their everyday life and they're going to stop paying attention. And they're going to place their trust and their faith back in the same people that got us here. And that is the GOP. A lot of people talk about how, well, what about the DNC? What about them? What about them? Well, when it comes to Charlie's death, we now know things about it that we didn't know then. And a part of that is who is benefiting the most from this horrible event. Now, I'm not going to talk about his wife or his family. I think that'd be distasteful. I will say that the memorial service did not come off right to me. It looked more like a Metallica concert than a memoriam. But who am I to judge, and criticize whatever? People mourn in their own ways. And a lot of people are upset about his wife taking over Turning Point because Charlie wouldn't have won. I don't know what Charlie would have wanted when it comes to that, but I do know that that is a big industry. That's a $140 million company, essentially, a nonprofit organization. And so somebody has to step in. Somebody has to take the reins. And I mean, I'd much rather have his wife do it than Ben Shapiro. So it's I don't care. I'm not going to pay attention to it any more than I was paying attention to it before Charlie, passed away. At least in the sense that I'm going to, be fully involved with them or support them. That's not really going to change. So I'm not here to criticize her or talk about that. But the other people at the memoriam, which was basically a GOP, RNC, whatever you want to call it, it was basically a convention for Republicans. It looked like one. I could show you several pictures and I could just tell you, it's yeah, this was the latest GOP convention, and you would believe me if you hadn't seen those before. You would 100% think this was a convention for Republicans. campaigning for their midterms and essentially J.D. Vance's 2028 presidential run. That's what it looks like, all right? And who's benefiting the most from all of this? It's them. Nicholas J. Fuentes went on Alex Jones the other day, and they had a conversation. And there was a part in this where Alex asked him, it's like, who do you think benefits the most from this? And, you know, Nick was saying, oh, I think it's the GOP. They seem like they're the ones getting the most out of this, honestly. And Alex, being Alex, because, you know, he has to protect Republicans and Trump, and he criticizes them, yeah, but he always has to, like, kind of like fight for them in a way. He was like, oh yeah, I believe it, but like I had my experts, we did a list, and it's like we put DNC at number 1, and then we put extreme leftists, and then we put the RNC. It's like he didn't want to admit that the people that are benefiting the most from this tragic event is the GOP, is the Republicans, is Trump, because they are. They're getting a lot of favor. They're signing people up to vote. They're doing all these different things. I even heard somewhere that they're going to do a military recruitment campaign using Charlie Kirk's name as like a way to get more people to join the military, because they're struggling to do that. And, well, the military would be under control of a GOP House, Senate president. So it's going to benefit them. And there's a lot of things that have happened the past few days that are very bad. First one is the H1B1 visa situation, where they came out and they said, yeah, there's going to be $100,000 annual fee to the H1B1 applicants. And everybody was excited. It's like, oh, dude, we're finally getting rid of all these Indians. They're not going to take our jobs. And then now we find out that it's not an annual fee. It's a one-time payment, and it actually puts them on track to gain citizenship within a few years, within like, I think it's like 5 years or something like that. You can correct me if you need to, but essentially it puts people on track to become actual citizens, to where they don't need to be an H1B1 visa applicant because they're actual citizens and they have the right to vote just like you do within a few years after taking your job. That's what it means. And companies are still going to pay the $100,000 because ultimately they can still pay those people less. And those people are still going to say yes because they just want to live here, and now they're going to have an even higher incentive to stay at those jobs because they'll gain citizenship. So that blew up, and we'll see the ramifications for that in the next couple years. What was the next one? Oh, Iran. That's still going quite well. That's still going good. We're still in conflict with Iran. We're still not fixing what's going on in Gaza. It's essentially going to be ethnic cleansing. It's essentially going to be displacing and colonizing Gaza in its entirety for Israel. That's what it's looking like. We're not getting peace. We're getting more problems. And then who knows after that? Israel might become the next big superpower in the Middle East. Seems like that's what they're trying to do. But let's talk about the other concerning issue, and that's Ukraine. We went from trying to make peace with Ukraine to now we're encouraging NATO to help Ukraine invade Russia, take over Russia, invade Moscow, take over Russia, take it to their front door. What the fuck is going on, dude? Now we are at a point to where we are closer to nuclear warfare now than we have ever been. Cuban Missile Crisis? What Cuban Missile Crisis? That's fucking that's bananas, dog. Fucking the Cold War? That's nothing. We are now closer to nuclear war than ever before, dude. And the people in charge are literally getting joy from this. They're getting off. Lindsey Graham and all these fucking idiots, dude, they're literally jerking off on TV, coming in their pants at the idea that we're going to destroy Russia because Russia's our greatest. We have to destroy them. And it's like, what I'm saying, the reason why I'm making this video, it's not necessarily to do a deep dive on any of these issues. It's to point out that a lot of the things that were supposed to be fixed, that were supposed to get better, whether it's immigration, which we will say the border being shut down is good. We'll have to acknowledge that, of course. But that happened a while ago. You know, this year is moving really fast. A lot of stuff is happening. Each week so far has been about 10 years of development. Okay? So that happened 80 years ago with the border getting shut down, closed down, secured. There's been a lot of other stuff going on, and they haven't been good. The H1B1 situation hasn't been good. Talk about AI for a second. None of these people, whether it's Democrats or Republicans, have been, putting forth any meaningful bills that's going to stop AI from taking more people's jobs. They're just letting that happen. That's just going to happen. So you have that. You have H1B1 visas. You have all the shit with Iran. And now we have potentially nuclear warfare with Russia. And some people would say, oh, it's a negotiation tactic from Trump. It's not working. Dude, how are you negotiating in a war against a country that is essentially won? Ukraine is lost. The only reason they are still in the fight is because of our money and our resources and NATO, which is essentially pretty much us and France. Let's be real. Okay, so what is going on here? What's going on are there's a lot of issues. There's a lot of problems. And a lot of people are going to go back to sleep after stuff like the memoriam, after watching things like this. They're going to go back to sleep trusting the status quo, trusting the GOP, trusting these people in power. Because they're going to be thinking, oh yeah, they have our best interests at heart. I'm here to tell you no. I'm here to tell you it is now more crucial for you to pay attention. Because not only do we know that there are people who live in this country who would want you to die because you have different political beliefs in them, but now people who quote unquote have the same beliefs as you that are in government are actively doing things that are ruining your life. So now is not the time to go back to sleep. Now is not the time to trust the GOP. There needs to be change. There has to be something different. We have to do something different. And what I'm saying, I get it. It isn't original. It isn't the most creative thing. It's like, oh, people have been saying that forever, because that is the only solution. We won last year, didn't we? We have the House, the Senate, the presidency. We have all this stuff, yet things are getting worse. They're not getting better. And with the trajectory that everything is going, it is getting to a point to where things will get even worse before they get better. And it isn't just because of Democrats and liberals that want to kill us. That's true. But it's like what Nick has said. He said that it is a multi-front war. It is liberals that want you to die. It is the DNC. It is foreign intelligence. It is Israel. And a lot of people would say, oh, well, if the GOP is benefiting the most from all this, who runs the GOP? It's Israel. So it's Israel benefiting. It's like, yeah, if you want to make that argument. But dude, you could make that about literally any party in our government. At this point, any party that has any play in our government has influence from Israel. So yeah, duh. But like, it's the GOP that is taking the most advantage from everything that's going on. And they're banking, dude. They are banking on the fact that you will just go back to your everyday life and you won't pay attention. You won't read between the lines. You won't heed the warnings. You won't be a watchman for what's to come. Because they want you to be an idiot. They want you to be asleep. And all I'm here to say today, and the reason why I had to make this video is I'm just here to say, it's like, dude, don't get comfortable. I'm sorry. I want to do it too. I want to fucking just smoke weed and play video games and fuck bitches and go back to like, I want to do all that, bro. I've been there. I understand. I get it. All right? But I can't. Life has changed. The game has changed. Things have changed. We cannot afford to do those things anymore. We need God. We need Jesus. We need to actively, deepen our connection with him and work harder at bringing Christ back into the country and saving people. That is something we need to do. We need to focus on that, but we also need to pay attention. And we have to acknowledge that the people that we thought were in charge and that were on our side are not on our side. We need to come up with something different, man. And I'm not a politician. I'm not a political analyst or a scientist. I'm not some genius, dude. I'm not here to say that. What I'm here to tell you is don't get comfortable. Don't slip back into the normal, normie lifestyle, because all that's going to happen, man, is you're going to wake up again when the next horrible thing happens. That's how it's going to be. There's going to be something else horrible that's going to happen. It's going to wake you up again. And that's where we are. It's in a constant state of waking up to something horrible and then slowly falling back asleep because we get comfortable and we get complicit, and then waking up again. And the only problem is it's going to get worse and worse until eventually it's going to be something you can't wake up from. Like your entire life turning upside down. Like somebody you know dying. Like you losing your job. Or in the case of nuclear war, everybody losing their life. Whether it's actually through nuclear annihilation or your everyday life is just gone forever. No more electricity, no more clean water, no more this, no more that. You're living in the woods. It is barbaric Mad Max type shit, dude. And I'm not trying to say that just to be funny or whatever. Like that is, who knows what would come from a nuclear war? Nobody has any clue because it's never happened. That's where we're at. That's what we're up against. So now is not the time to be comfortable. Now is the time to put things in the gear, go 100 miles an hour, and pay attention. If it's not your friends, it's gotta be you, man. If it's not your friends or your family, it's gotta be you. You gotta be the crazy uncle at Thanksgiving that's talking about the Jews. I'm sorry, but that is where you are in life. You have to be that person. Because if everybody else around you is just gonna go back to sleep, you can't speak for them. You are not in charge of what they will do, but you are in charge of what you do. And I'm here to say, you can't go back to sleep. You can't let your life just get comfortable again and just act like these things have never happened and trust the status quo, because they are running your future into the ground. They are running the country into the ground. Our country is literally in a death spiral, and we can't trust these people. And that's why I made this video. I could go on for like an hour, literally talking like this. I'm not going to. I've taken enough of your time, and all I'll say is just pay attention and don't go back to sleep. Just don't do it. Don't be a sucker. Don't be an idiot. Don't get comfortable again. Your future and your family's future depends on that. That is your responsibility. So that's all I'm going to say. If you enjoyed this video, let me know what you think below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? If you did enjoy it, like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Rumble as well. Hit the bell notification on YouTube to get notified when I upload in the future. And as always, guys, Jesus Christ is King of Kings, Lord of Lords, America first, baby. And I will see you all later.